The name T-72 echoes through decades of warfare. Born in the Cold War, rebuilt for the modern battlefield, and still fighting today. But this isn't the old Soviet tank rolling through history books. This is the T-72B3, faster, tougher, and far more dangerous. It's the backbone of Russia's armored power, built not for prestige, but for practicality. So, how powerful is this modernized beast? Let's find out. The original T-72 entered service in the early 1970s as a cheaper, simpler alternative to the complex T-64. Over 25,000 units were produced, making it one of the most common tanks on Earth. But by the 2000s, it was obsolete. Western tanks like the Leopard 2 and Abrams had better armor, sights, and fire control systems. Russia needed a cost-effective solution, not an all-new tank, but an upgrade. That upgrade became the T-72B3, introduced around 2010, a complete rebuild of the old workhorse for modern war. At first glance, the B3 looks like any other T-72, but its armor tells another story. The turret and hull are wrapped in Contact 5 explosive reactive armor, ERA, capable of defeating both shaped-charge warheads and armor-piercing rounds. Later versions, the T-72B3M, introduced in 2016, replaced this with relic ERA, 50% more effective and comparable to that of the T-90A. Behind the ERA lies a composite steel-ceramic array, giving up to 900mm protection against heat rounds and around 600mm versus kinetic penetrators. It isn't invincible, but it can survive most frontal hits from older NATO munitions. At its core lies the 125mm 2 A46M5 smoothbore cannon. It fires high explosive, armor-piercing, and even guided missiles. The 9M119 Reflex, which can strike targets up to 5 kilometers away. The gun feeds from an autoloader, reducing the crew to 3: commander, gunner, and driver. It can reload in roughly 7 seconds, though this design also places ammunition close to the crew, a weakness if the tank is penetrated. Secondary weapons include a 7.62-meter coaxial machine gun and a 12.7mm heavy gun mounted on the turret for anti-air or infantry use. Old T-72s were nearly blind at night. The B3 fixes that with the Sosna-U thermal sight, featuring automatic target tracking, a laser rangefinder, and a digital ballistic computer. Built by Belarus's Peleng, the system lets the gunner identify and engage targets at 3,500 meters, day or night. The commander uses the TKN-3MK sight on early models and a panoramic thermal viewer on the B3M, allowing both gunner and commander to track different targets simultaneously. The hunter-killer feature seen on Western tanks. With modern sensors and stabilized fire control, the T-72B3 finally gained the eyes and brains it once lacked. Powering the B3 is the V92S2F diesel engine, producing 1,130 horsepower. That gives the 46-ton tank a top road speed of about 60 km/h and 40 km/h across rough terrain. It uses a manual gearbox, simple, field serviceable, and reliable, and rides on reinforced tracks and suspension borrowed from the T-90. The tank can travel roughly 500 km on one load of fuel and ford 1.2 minutes of water, or up to 5 minutes using a snorkel. It's not high-tech luxury, it's pure Soviet practicality. Easy to fix, hard to stop. There are several key versions of the T-72B3. T-72B3, 2011, the first upgrade, new gun, ERA, and Sosna-U sight. T-72B3, 2014, added side armor and updated electronics. T-72B3M, 2016, the full modernization, relic ERA, more powerful engine, panoramic commander sight, and improved communications. Later models added rear cameras, digital displays, and navigation systems, small touches that greatly improved crew awareness. The T-72B3 has seen heavy use in Ukraine, Syria, and Chechnya. In Syria, it proved effective against lighter vehicles and infantry positions. In Ukraine, however, it faced the modern reality of warfare. Top attack missiles like the Javelin and NLAW, which exposed the thin roof armor and the danger of its internal ammunition carousel. Still, under trained crews and coordinated support, the B-3 remains lethal in close-range engagements and ambush tactics. Its balance of simplicity and modern tech keeps it relevant despite its age. Strengths and weaknesses. Strengths: affordable and easy to mass produce. Good mobility for its class. Effective frontal protection with ERA. Guided missile firing capability. Simple to maintain and repair. Weaknesses: vulnerable ammunition placement. Limited crew survivability if penetrated. Weak reverse speed. Outdated communications in early models. Thin roof and rear armor. The T-72B3 isn't built for perfection. It's built for numbers. Russia's doctrine values availability over elegance, and this tank embodies that philosophy. Today, the T-72B3 is the mainstay of Russia's armored forces. More than 2,000 units are active, fighting alongside T-80s and a smaller number of T-90Ms, even with the next-generation T-14 Armata under development. The B-3 remains Russia's practical choice: cheaper, proven, and abundant. For every Armata rolling off the line, there are 10 T-72B3s already ready for combat. That's how Russia sustains its armored power, through quantity refined by experience. The T-72B3 is a paradox. Old bones with new brains. It blends 1970s design with 21st century technology. Modern optics, reactive armor, and improved mobility. Against Western main battle tanks, it's outclassed. But against infantry, drones, and lighter armor, it remains deadly efficient. It's the ultimate symbol of Russia's approach: modernize the past instead of replacing it. For countries that already operate T-72s, the B-3 upgrade is a cost-effective way to stay in the fight, a bridge between eras of armored warfare. The T-72B3 isn't a vision of the future. It's a survivor from the past that refuses to fade away. Each war teaches it something new, and each upgrade keeps it rolling forward. As long as tanks dominate the battlefield, the T-72 will continue to carve its story into history. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more deep dives into modern military technology. Because behind every tank, there's a story, and the T-72B3 story is still being written.